What's poppin', y'all? Ye's been on a tear this past week, especially when it comes to ego going crazy. It's like I'm basically hearing amazing in real time from 808s and Heartbreak consistently from Ye after this number one. However, and I was getting ready to put on my jacket and be like, yo, this is the, not attack, but this is the criticize Ye jacket. But I had to take it off, put it back on my coat rack, which, I was in the UK in November. You guys got some weird coat racks. And I say that with a lot of intrigue. I was like, yo, how does this thing even work? But I have to put it back on my coat rack, which is not a UK coat rack, and sit down and say, you know what? Ye might actually have a point here. So Ye was on Big Boy doing an interview and pretty much said, hey, he inspired all of these different styles of music, I think of the past 20 years or less. He was saying, hey, I put all these people on, my style, to all these risks that I took, this and that. Boosie, however, decided to disagree. And he came out saying, not all genres, not every style. Red stop sign without the stop written. Not Boosie music. You can't relate to nothing I rap about or your music. Nobody listens to Kanye and the projects are the trenches. I'ma go ahead and say it. My people do not relate to you. And then Ye said, I just saw that Wipe Me Down was made in 2007. I take no responsibility for whatever that genre would be called. So I just saw the Ye post at first before seeing the Boosie post. And I was like, come on, man. Like, you're going at Boosie, Ye? Really? Do we have to do this? And then I saw Boosie's initial response. Ye never initially mentioned Boosie. I don't think so. So for Boosie, even if he did, for Boosie to come back like this, it's like, damn, you dissing Ye. Listen, Boosie, we mess with Boosie. I've actually messed with Boosie's music. I'd only found him because of Cash Money. Cash Money really brought me into New Orleans music. And then that's how I found Boosie. And Boosie was, for a lot of people, an acquired taste. But for Boosie, you don't match up musically in any regard. You don't hold a candle to Ye. Respect. You don't hold a candle to DaBaby, music quality-wise. I just had to put that out there. No disrespect or anything, but there's levels to this game. And then Boosie went on to say, the genre of music I make is called Boosie music. It makes you cry. It makes you smile. It makes you dance. It gives you motivation. It makes you think. I don't know about the think part. I really raise people through my music. It's real heartfelt music. No rapper has raised most street people than me. I make the music that makes you feel like we grew up in the same house together. Wipe Me Down is not a genre of music. It's a song. 07. I was almost a decade in. I've been putting out this real heartfelt stuff since 98, 99. They just don't give real flowers no more, but I give them to myself. #legend. I'm really glad that this back and forth happened. Hopefully they're able to reconcile. I don't think this was actually anything staticky. One thing I did comment on my IG, which you should follow me at helloyassine, was Vlad and Boosie are going to make a bag off of this. I know they both, I don't know who hit who first, but whoever saw this picked up the phone, called Vlad, or Vlad called Boosie and said, hey, we got to get in the studio expeditiously. So I like this because it brings up the conversation of Boosie and Ye. Now, they don't compare popularity-wise. However, Boosie did influence and have a strong influence on not only Southern culture and Southern music, but bringing out artists like NBA Youngboy, who said he was heavily influenced by Boosie. Artists like Kodak Black, who said he was heavily influenced by Boosie. And I do think Boosie spoke to a demographic and part of the population that really, really was from the trenches, and in the South particularly. I think Boosie was largely a regional artist, especially initially. And you got to think, Boosie's talking about 98, 99. Internet really wasn't like that. Or he's been doing it since 98, 99, but he built his base in the South. He did spread, and I would say probably like hoods throughout the U.S. Northeast, were they really listening to Boosie like that? Man, I don't know. I can't pinpoint that. I know I was listening to Boosie, but the majority were listening to their own region, especially in the 2000s. Wipe Me Down, everybody was listening to, for sure. But the rest of Boosie's music, I don't know. And when Boosie got released, I think it was 2015 or so, that comeback album, it did like 62K. I don't know if he was independent or not, but that was big numbers for him to come back. And I think that was there was a huge free Boosie movement too for years. But I will say, Boosie was a regional artist. Boosie is in no way a global artist. Not even close. And we can see that. Like Boosie, when he's doing shows and stuff, he's getting booked in these clubs, doing these features. It's all throughout the South. Rarely do we see Boosie going to Oregon or, hell, even Nevada, Arizona, and really kicking it off and doing a big show that's just him. In Atlanta, he's definitely lit. And don't even get me started on Louisiana, like Mississippi, that whole area, he dominates. I would say he dominates, like you could say, the streets more than Ye, but Ye never said he was for the streets. That's the thing. So Ye, I would say he appeals to an audience that Boosie could never really grasp and touch. So Ye has way broader appeal and touches a lot more people. Boosie can say he has a more concentrated and I guess you could say fervent fan base in like the trenches. He can really relate to them. I mean, the guy's been to prison how many times? He's lost how many people close to him that have died? This guy's had cancer. He grew up in the trenches. He was doing whatever the hell he was. This guy is, it's a mark of luck that Boosie is not only still alive, but not locked up. So, of course, like people can relate to him, especially like the whole no snitching thing. So the streets are going to relate to somebody that's closer to them, which is not Ye. Ye has always been about like, hey, I'm cool with these people, but that's not my brand. Like, you know, pink polos and backpacks and LV backpacks and like the style of fashion that Ye had, it was forward thinking and it appealed to a broader base. You could say a lot of suburban people, but a lot of artistic people and people that were into fashion, design, the arts, even some people that were into like science and stuff. They just mess with Ye because his music was all encompassing. You didn't have to be from a specific environment to enjoy Ye's music. Now, initially his music was a lot more like, you could say like it had more of a social movement, which, yeah, if you were a part of that demographic, then you would relate to it more strongly and you would feel it a lot different. But that didn't mean that it was exclusionary, which I'm not saying Boosie's music is exclusionary, but by the sound of it, the region where it came from and what he's rapping about, yeah, a lot of people were going to be off put by it. Not in an insulted type of way, but in a way that's like, whoa, this is, I don't see how I'm supposed to listen to this. Not to mention, Ye had the cosign from Jay-Z, and he just made better music. The guy was a producer. So this is a conversation that, yeah, like Boosie made his own style of music, you could say that. And I do think he had a profound effect. Like the way people from the South talk about Boosie, you have to talk to them. You have to talk to Boosie fans from the South to really get a grasp, especially if you're not from there, which I'm not, to really get a grasp of the effect that he had. Otherwise, you just think like, yeah, you know, Boosie, he was doing his thing. It's kind of like Gucci. If we're being honest, Jeezy was doing way bigger numbers and dropping better albums than Gucci. Gucci is like liked as a figure. However, if you go to Georgia and some other states in the South, they're looking at Gucci like, this guy's out of this world. So there are certain people in the South that are perceived as superstars. Like if you ask them, they're like, yeah, this person's a superstar. You go to anywhere else, you just go up to Virginia and they're like, that guy? Yeah, you know, he's cool. And this is the same thing that was going on for a period of time with Kevin Gates in 2015. Kevin Gates at that time, it was the Isla album, and he sold, it was either 100K or 125K. It was big numbers, and it was a great album. Kevin Gates has always made great music, but that shocked people. However, Kevin Gates, a lot of his audience at the time was from the South. Like, they were buying his albums. Kevin Gates was the hottest rapper to them. You couldn't tell them otherwise, and he's still doing his thing. Like, Kevin Gates is, I would say he's transcended that. He's fell back a little bit more now, which, I mean, let's thank God. The less they give Kevin Gates a microphone outside of the studio, the better it is for us. And whatever purity that's left in us and for us to be able to endure. But yeah, that's pretty much the conversation that I want to have about this. I thought it would be an interesting take. Let me know what you guys think, especially about Boosie music, please. If you are from the South and you grew up on Boosie music, kind of give us your perspective on this. Because I'm just looking at it from someone that's had dealings and had conversations with people from there. And I'm already like, whoa, yeah, Boosie's like way bigger than we would think in maybe like the coastal cities or even in Texas, I would say. So yeah, let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you for watching. Peace.